Okay, well, I guess we're going no intro now because for whatever reason the intro doesn't want to play. But this is the Touchdowns and Tangents Show. I'm Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth and Shazier.
And for those of you who've never listened to this show before, Kenny, what's this podcast like?
This podcast is like finally telling everyone in your family to F off during the holidays. And that one uncle comes up to you outside and is like, you know what? I respect you, man. I respect you. Let's go to a strip club. And the rest is history.
All right, so if you ever listen to this show, what you should know is you're going to come across some banter. You're going to come across some X's and O's, maybe some slander, maybe some bickering, but mostly topical tangents and some pretty funny rants.
Yeah, and kind of conversations that you probably have irrationally on a road trip with your friends on the way to Coachella, while one friend's already high and passed out in the back seat, that you guys only poke fun at said friend later on when you're all at Carl's Jr. and they wake up and say, "Get there at McDonald's." Those type of conversations. The ones you can't get back, but you don't always remember. But you never forget the laughter. Or the stupidity.
Alright, so I know the biggest topic this week is Pro Bowl, I guess, rosters. Is that how I should announce it?
Snubs and such.
The Pro Bowl results came out, and this year they introduced a new formula where fans' votes would only be a third of it, and they'd also include coaches, players, and media. So, based off of what we know now, who are some of the biggest names that got left off?
Well, since defense wins championships, and this team is kind of maligned with injuries right now, Cam Hayward, Ironhead Hayward, son of Ironhead Hayward, first round pick out of Ohio State, by the way. People forget that. Has 10 sacks this year, and is a 3-4 defensive end. Now, for all you football fans out there and former football players,
you know that never happens.
Yeah, from a 3-4 defensive end, you're not even athletic enough to get 10 sacks. Like, people would be like, oh, you're a Pro Bowler with 8 sacks. Like, Jay Ratliff was amazing at one point, and yeah, that fell short. But he's probably the biggest one because that's one of the best defenses in the league. He got snubbed. Oh, sorry. Not Panthers. Jacksonville Jaguars defensive end.
And Jaku?
Something. Maryland defensive end. I still can't say his name. African dude. Great player, though. Raiders passed
6 forced fumbles.
11.5 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. Jacksonville Jaguars defense. He had a great rookie year. And he followed up with an even better year. By the way, Dante Fowler Jr. might really be a bust because he is, like, oh boy, who was like a later round pick. He is embarrassing him. But he got snubbed. But, Marquette King got snubbed. And he actually led the fan votes. But
a lot of King got in.
Kern got in over him for the AFC.
I think
King got alternate. He's an alternate. If we're just talking, I'm just talking starters. Because it's funny. Mike Evans had a funny comment about not getting in. He was like, "Bro, we've been trash all year. Like, I've had a terrible year. Did you really think I was gonna get in?" It's kind of funny.
Harrison Smith didn't get in with 3 picks and I think like 2 sacks and being one of the key players on one of the best defenses in the league.
Been one of the best safeties since he came in football. But, I mean, if we're being honest, and we look at that, let's look at that NFC.
The Packers didn't have anyone go for the first time in a long time. And Devontae Adams has like 10 more yards to get 1,000 yards receiving. And he's played with Brett Hundley at QB for most of the year. And Martinez, one of their inside linebackers, is actually the number 2 player in tackles. Zach Brown's like one of the top 2 tacklers.
But
He
the
also
Packers'
didn't make
defense
it.
is terrible, so there's such thing as garbage tackles.
And then,
But by
speaking
the
of
way-
10 sacks, Julius Peppers really should get in just on the legacy vote, but you factor in that he has 10 sacks on a new
I
team.
think he has 10 sack seasons. He's one of only 4 or 5 people who have that.
I think the other ones were Deacon Jones and who's the other dude?
Michael Strahan.
No, it was somebody else. It was someone else who played for Carolina, too.
Kevin Green? I think Kevin Green's
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Reggie White. But the safeties that got in the NFC over Harrison Smith, Earl Thomas, Landon Collins, Malcolm Jenkins. I'm okay with all 3 of those. All 3 of those players are better than Harrison Smith. Landon Collins was an All-Pro. Earl Thomas is pretty much almost a Hall of Famer. Malcolm Jenkins has been an All-Pro. And Jenkins does way more for the Eagles defense than he does
Earl
the
Thomas is
Vikings.
having a down year, though, too. I would even put Tom Smith in
It's a
over
popularity.
him.
It's a popularity vote.
Yeah,
Same way for Earl
it's
Barrett.
true.
If I can't talk today.
Wonder
If
why.
Eric Berry, yeah, me too. If Eric Berry wasn't hurt and played the whole year and even had a crappy year, and he's had crappy years, but he still got in the Pro Bowl.
Actually, he's never really had a crappy year, so please don't slander him like that.
He's had crappy years.
No, he hasn't.
The defense has been and he was the best player on the defense, and that's why
Yeah,
he got
he's
the
never
nod.
really had a sorry year. Nah, check his stats.
But I mean, it's mostly because he's really a free safety who can play strong safety, but they just play him at strong safety, which kind of diminishes his role in the defense anyway, because he does all the dirty work. But we're not going to talk.
Shout out to Buda Baker getting in as a special teamer.
Yep.
Fell down a lot of draft boards, but really showing some value, and I think his role's going to increase next year in Arizona.
Matthew Slater was injured most of the year, so I'm kind of shocked he got in. But and then St. Louis,
Patrick Peterson getting in every single year of his career, damn near.
7 years, every Pro Bowl. Farrell Cooper, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. He replaced Tavon Austin, who pretty much is a running back for the Rams at this point. That's how they use him.
Who is pretty much has the worst contract in the NFL right now.
Nah.
No, he
Mike
has
Glennon has the worst. He wasn't a draft baby where he got a crap ton of
No,
guaranteed money.
actually, I would say
Glennon.
Tavon Austin actually has a worse contract than Mike Glennon.
Glennon's not even playing.
Because the difference is, like, that's a quarterback, and it's a premium position. So I understand them overpaying because there's a bunch of quarterbacks that are overpaid. But Austin was paid number 1 receivers, and he's never had a number 1 receiver year. And now he's the 4th receiver on this team.
He's like the second string running back.
He actually might be 6th.
He's a second string running back, though. Who else besides Todd Gurley touches the ball? And a running back that you can think of.
Max Dunbar has like 30 rushing yards for the year.
Yeah.
Isn't it Malcolm Brown?
He was their backup, but it's like break in case of emergency. But Tavon...
with the way Gurley's running on, you don't really need a backup.
But the way they scheme it, they get a lot of
catcher.
They get a lot of great yards running the ball with Tavon Austin. He averages like almost 8 yards a carry. He breaks runs. So he's a solid weapon. He's a solid OW.
He's not a $10 million a year player.
Oh, he's not, and I'm pretty sure
he's making like $10 million.
they renegotiated. They probably negotiated.
No, bro, he literally has the worst contract in the NFL.
I'm just saying,
I can't believe you're defending Tavon Austin right now.
Over Mike Glennon, yeah, because Glennon's not even playing.
Look at Tavon Austin's contract, bro.
Bro, everyone knew Glennon was crap before he got the contract. There was hope for Austin.
Mike Glennon only started 6 games, so at least
he's getting paid how much money?
At least he had the unknown factor.
No, he didn't.
Tavon Austin started 3 years and never had more than 500 receiving yards, and he got paid number 1 receiver.
He got like 10 touchdowns in 1 year, though. Rushing, receiving, and catching.
Bro, he's never topped 500 receiving yards, and he's making $10 million a year.
Jeff Fisher was his head coach. So,
bro, he's the 5th receiver on the team.
With the second string running back. And he was actually a horrible punt returner. That's why they put Farrell Cooper back there. Out of South Carolina, which, by the way, I called that draft pick.
I don't even know how we got on a tangent about Tavon
Pro Bowls.
because he's really trash, and we really don't need to talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, you got.
We should probably never talk about him on this podcast.
You better have that same smoke, and he's fast. he ran like a 4.3.
I'm not running to him at the bungalow or something.
Bro, you might.
Shout out to Rogers Elbow.
Bro, you're gonna run into Bruce Irvin, and you have to explain yourself. You know he don't tolerate Mountaineer slander.
That's true. When he called out that quarterback,
he called. Yeah, we're not. Come on, man. I'm trying to help you out here.
Man, you know how good it would be for that show if we got Twitter beef with Bruce Irvin? I might just start tweeting at him every day, just trolling him every single day. You look like Future.
If Future did right with his life and played football,
you should have went to Georgia.
Should have went to USC. But I think he didn't qualify for grades or something.
Mount Sac. Shout out to Mount Sac. Shout out to Diamond War. Shout out to the IE.
Are you done? Just because signing day just passed? You're like, USC got an IE cornerback. Yeah, you didn't even know that, did you?
No, I don't pay attention to college football. That's what you're for. So I guess that brings us to our next segment, kid.
See how I transition without transitioning? Man, it's a skill. Yeah, so the national recruiting deadline was essentially moved up to where recruits who were serious and wanted to sign
could sign transition to the college
this week. Wow.
Why'd you stop talking? Yeah.
Should I just kill you?
I'm trying to get ahead of you.
Should I kill you mid-podcast right now?
Yeah.
That's how we end it?
You know how good that would be for our 52 episodes on Archive?
54. Wow, you suck.
Whatever.
Anyway. So what happens is Georgia pretty much got... Shut up. I swear to God, dude. Not today, man. So, Georgia has the number one...
Bro, look at what academics and Budden went through. Right?
Stop talking about academics.
And then they came out as best friends. Right? So maybe we do need to just, stab each other on the hair.
Nah, because then we would just end up like... We'd end up like Mike and Mike. And it would just be trash for both of us. Be a terrible ending. But anyway. So...
I feel like we're going to come down the line like 20 years down the line and one of the Mikes took one of the other Mike's wives. And that's going to be like... We
swapped wives and it's cool now?
And then like 5 years later, and they were just like... The ESPN made them suck it up for like 5 years.
Or like one of Mike's wives, the Notre Dame player, he called out Mike and the other Mike's wife just straight up psychotic, and they're all scared of her.
All right, I didn't mean to hijack your segment on college football, so
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for that. Speaking of hijacking, Georgia pretty much got the number one ranked class, so they're coming for Alabama's neck. They're building a Death Star of amazing athletes over there, except this one doesn't blow up. So because of that
Star
deadline,
Wars franchise.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. I like it. I just have a lot of things I wouldn't have done. Shout out to Kevin Smith and his amazing hour and a half review of that. If you know who Kevin Smith is, just go watch.
Shout out to Raquan Smith becoming a Raider. I'm just speeding out in the universe, hoping it happens.
Even though they never take good Georgia linebackers, they passed on Ogletree years ago. We'll see how that goes. Anyway. So, like I said, Georgia had the number one overall class, which was ranked 6th all-time since recruiting numbers have been a thing. And that's because that rule was put in place where a lot of guys are signing early. Now, academically, this could actually be bad because some kids may not be ready academically to start in spring of the following year after their high school career is over. And some of them want to sign, and be done, but still finish out the rest of their high school lives. So there's also that they'll look out for. And then there's going to be a couple kids scrambling for scholarships on the major signing day. But I think it just really solidifies a lot of people's classes early. It also really does a number on scholarships. Like USC, they really only have like a couple scholarships left. I think like two, unless somebody leaves, transfers,